Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Bunner speaking, and a cold welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. Yeah, it's surprising. I feel colder now that I'm back home than I did when I was in Liverpool, and I have no idea why. I mean, yes, that's true, we did actually pass December 21st already, which was of course yesterday, and that marks the official start of winter, but usually the official start does not equate to this, quite honestly. I don't think that's how that works. But there you go. I guess we're now in winter. I'm on teeth now. I had a very weird breakfast today. Anywho, yeah, so like I said, some people might know this already, but I'm back home now. And one question I got actually was whether Walking Wednesdays was going to have more park than it was, or was going to have more town. And just because I'm a bit close to the park, actually, not by much, but a little bit, I thought it'd be good to actually come here, just because I actually don't have much time today, because I've got my booster vaccine to get to for the Omicron variant. And yeah, that's an interesting one, because also I've got a flu jab on Christmas Eve. So I'm going to have jabs galore, basically. But yeah, so I took the precaution of filming myself before that happened and not after. Although, who knows? Because, but yeah, I've, it's because I also, like, the sun has started to set really much earlier than before, so I want to at least get this chance right now and just go around the closest area I possibly could and not concern myself too much with it. My hands are already starting to freeze. I need to sit on them when I get back or something. Anywho, so as you can tell, I'm back home. The semester has concluded, and everything that I was working up to, you know, the directing stuff, the creative writing submission, all of that concluded, finiten, and submitted. Do I feel relieved? Absolutely. Do I feel like I could have done better? Well, I always feel like that. I always feel like there's something else that I could have done, or, you know, dedicated more attention, or I don't know, whatever. Which is honestly a good mentality to have in most aspects. The same thing applies to art. If you think you've really peaked as far as something working, then chances are it's utterly terrible, and you should actually be learning from your mistakes. So, yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I forgot how many dogs there were around here. I had to let one through on the way down. Sorry, just because I'm focusing. Man there with a couple of dogs. And gloves. He's got the right idea. I should have brought gloves, but then again, it's hard to use your phone and actually like activate the camera and stuff if I got gloves on. Anyway. So yeah, now that all of that has concluded, basically, I've been thinking about the meeting girl. Because of course I was, yeah. Again, my personal goal, you know, the ultimate big deadline that I have is naturally the end of the Mutant Girl season 2. And I announced in Through Her Eyes, in both the movie edit and on the final episode, that the season would be concluding in 2021. It should have concluded in 2020, actually. I think we had all the episodes prepared by the end of that year. I could be wrong. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure we did. I've stopped the writing process of the Mutant Girl significantly, because we were getting far too carried away How long ago did I finish writing season 3? Oh, it was a long time ago. Aiden and I ploughed through that one. And meanwhile, we have other ideas that are supposed to come out far sooner. Haven't been started yet. Like, for example, stuff for the Pure Gacha channel. We have one episode of something planned out. That's a pretty ambitious project, so we'll probably start with something smaller. Maybe something Atma related. I don't even have a name for the Pure Gacha channel yet. I've still been thinking about that. I have no idea what to call it. I could just call it Pure Gacha. That could be a fairly on-brand name. It feels a little bit impersonal, but better than the alternative, which is I don't know. I feel like I might be going a bit too far downhill. I want to stay up here. I want to stay up here and make sure I don't go over the time, because I have to be back by 4:30. It's probably 10 to 4 right now. That's not a huge problem, because I'm not that far away, but it's still something. So yeah, just making sure. There's an actual path up there now. Oh, and of course more dogs coming the other way. There's not really much of a path to go down there, so I'm just going to go this way. Okay. But yeah, as it turns out, I don't actually have... I looked through the lines, I was like, okay, I'm going to go through the audio for the scenes now that I've finished my scene. Oh, Christ. It's just going to keep looking at me, isn't it? Okay, fine. This is why I'm not a pet person. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. That, nope, I don't know why I keep doing that. I always keep doing that. I say, what was I saying? Then I say, oh yeah, and then I want to trick my brain to thinking that I've actually calculated what I'm going to say, but I honestly haven't, and I just keep hesitating. So what did I say? Let me think about it. It was to do with Mutant Girl. Concluding 2020, no, we said that. I don't care anymore. Let's go on to something else. Why is it still following me? Ugh. I'm going to keep walking at the same pace. It's not coming up close to me, but it's still just following me and barking behind. You know, for one day that I thought I could get away from cars, yeah. And for anyone that's going to be like, oh no, Jacob doesn't like dogs, it's like, I don't mind them, it's just, you know, not usually around me. It's like, I don't know. My aunt used to have a dog that I was really quite fond of, but yeah, in general, it takes a while for me to endear myself to an animal, particularly. Stops me from eating them, certainly, because I've been veggie all my life. Oh, more dogs. Okay, I'm just going to name this the dog park or something, or dog episode. That thing, it's been... It has literally just been... Is it the high-vis jacket or something? Wait, dogs are colourblind, it can't be. I don't even know. Right, so... I don't even know anymore. I've completely forgotten. I've wasted so much time already. Right. No. Okay. So yeah, oh yeah, so I finished my scene, that's what I was going to say. I finished my scene, which is the longest scene in the next episode of Mutant Girl. I finished that with no angles. So now I'm going to go through and edit all the camera angles for every single scene that I've been sent and prepare that. But in the meantime, what I was going to do was actually work on the audio for the next episodes, so that while I'm doing my visuals, I can actually give people... I should have closed that gate. Ah, I'm dumb. I should have closed the gate. You know what? I'm going this way. It is just me. It's past a bunch of people, and it just wants to go after me, and it's still following me this way. Go away! Good grief! I don't get it. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to do my audio for that bit, but then, as it turns out, by some cruel twist of fate, I asked Gilead for the episode 11 and 12 lines for Julius. It gave me episode 11 quite a while ago, but because of that, I assumed episode 12 was going to be in that mix. It was not. So yeah, and now he's sick and won't be able to do lines for the next couple of days, which takes me up to Christmas, which gives me almost just a week to prepare scenes for everyone else. Which, by God, just saying that sentence out loud, it just makes me even more annoyed than that dog chasing me. Because yeah, I don't know if we're going to do it. Episode 11 can certainly come out in that time, but not episode 12. You know what, my New Year's resolution is going to be not to conclude that season, because I'm going to make sure that even if I have to go into January, I plow through that, then give people a break for a little bit before going into plunging them into the anniversary remake, because Aiden's not going to let me pass up on that one, isn't he? Is he just going into like those episode remakes? Which, to be fair, I could probably take care of mostly by myself, but who knows? Some of the other editors I've had other projects they're doing, I just kind of let them off the hook. Like Moni, for example, has been doing It's a Family Thing and puppetry, and therefore I didn't allocate her any scenes beyond the Zoom one in episode 10. Which, granted, still took a while, but at least it gave a model for Emily to step in. So yes, Emily is now officially an editor, or stepped in editor at least, for the Mutant Girl. I was hesitating for a while. It's like I could have asked her a long time ago before she offered to step in herself, but I thought because she's such a fan of the series as well, and that she really actually being part of the cast, but also not necessarily responsible for the involvement. I like the fact that she's invested and gets to discover this episodes as they come out, with only minor spoilers as far as her actual audio went. But yeah, now that's not really the case, at least at the moment. We'll see. I don't know if she wants to stay on past this point, because I just desperately I clamor to people oh yeah, please, help with this. But yeah, I don't know. What I need to do really is look at my own scene, actually, because that's, once again, I've got the longest scene in the episode to do, because it's a laboratory scene, and of course that means that I've got to use the composite background and put all that together, because I've got foreground and background details for that lab, and I don't have anyone else who has those exact configurations worked out. So yeah, I've still got to thank Mimi XD for that one, actually, because she's the one who actually showed me how to source of the backgrounds, and that was the first example I did, which only makes sense as to why I ended up being stuck with it. Then again, there are no lab backgrounds in Gacha Club, at least. There might be some in Gacha Cute, but that's a mod that I have yet to properly explore in detail. Plus, I still need to emulate it in order to actually access it. And BlueStacks, as people pointed out in episode 4 of season 2, isn't the best. So yeah, and now I'm going downhill again. Do I want to go downhill and have a climb up, or risk running into that dog again? Downhill it is, lesser of two evils. Okay. Oh, actually, there's a bit of a path over here that goes somewhat level. Okay. What else? What else? Yeah, so I'm worried about that. I've also been thinking about, since I came back, obviously, I also did like the my latest Apple music video, which kind of took up a little bit of time, as far as I could have used for that. But what can I say? Inspiration struck me while I was watching the Hunger Games, which is something I haven't said for about 7 years or something. So who knows? But yeah, honestly, yeah, I know that my performance in that wasn't the best, but the editing certainly was the best, as in it was edited by InterBest. We've long been talking about making a collab where Aiden does the visuals for a music video of mine, and I work on the actual song. Because what the things we've praised each other for are the fact that, well, Aiden critiques my visual choices in almost all music videos, actually, that I do for AFMAL. And I in turn criticize him because his visuals are good, but they don't always quite match. And the reason for that is because he uses obviously all the existing songs which have their own context, and it's quite difficult to use existing clips and put them to an existing song and make it all properly make sense. It's a tried and tested issue, and that's why I always do my own songs, because I can control the content on my own lyrics. I can control the context in which the songs are actually representing, and then therefore the visuals will at least match, or not in some cases according to Aiden, but you know, we've gone back and forth on that. So I thought it was the ideal combo, and I must say it was. Other than the fact that he didn't tell me that he wanted to edit everything in order, and I just recorded the chorus on the day I finished writing the song, which put the production back for an entire day again. At least it actually did come out, as far as US time goes at least, at the same time as the as most of the other ones, like the 20th or 21st. Because I've been doing that since the Travis episode, 4 years. Hold on.
I sent you an email. Just,
oh my word.
A little while
Guess,
later with some photos.
guess what? It was a lady with another dog. Oh boy, there's a theme going on today, isn't there? Right. You know what? I'm just going to call this episode Dogs, Dogs, Dogs. There we go. That's my title. Okay. But seriously, as for this right now, really, I don't know. I've been thinking about the music on more than just that song. Because actually I was just talking to Monet right now. Because in certain aspects of our relationship actually, or in certain conversations we have, guess what? Another person, another dog, gonna move up here now. You know what, I'm just gonna climb this hill. It's far easier. It's gonna go to the other path by force. I don't care anymore. That other dog is probably long gone by now. I'm back at the gate I was at before. Anyway, yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I've been thinking about that because in certain aspects I can see really that it is just an exercise in predicting the future sometimes. But it's more than that. It's just like I portray certain aspects that I imagined happening to myself, or how I react in situations if they did happen to myself, through the characters, especially when it comes to the romantic scenes particularly, as I found. I can probably go into more detail in another video actually, if I predict my own future, and also obviously like some of the things that are the actual dialogue is based on, or the actual directions or production at all. But really, that's, again, more detail for another day. But for right now, I was kind of been thinking that if you look at runtime just on its own, The Mutant Girl is the gacha equivalent to The Simpsons. Just because of, again, just on runtime alone. I'm not saying it's nearly the level of genius that The Simpsons is, because I could only dream, am I right? But what I mean is because of its longevity as a series. And therefore, it's statistically the most likely gacha series to actually ever predict anything, really, and actually have certain things come to life. I'd have to ask that for other people, actually. I'm curious now as to whether they've written something and it's come true to someone they know or someone in real life. Obviously, there are plenty of gacha shows that have been going, at least in some capacity, for a year. So imagine 2. Imagine almost 3. Because genuinely, you know, I said the anniversary will be next after the season 2 conclusion, and genuinely, that will mark 3 years since the Mutant Girl started. And again, that's definitely a world record that I have to register at some point. Maybe I'll try and register it for the anniversary itself and see if it can actually be sent to me. Who knows? Because it's hard to verify this kind of stuff. Because you have to get in contact with units themselves if I run certain checks in order to actually identify it. Whether they'll count it as a gacha series, because gacha itself describes the game mechanic rather than the actual production itself, rather than the actual games themselves. I don't know what kind of wording I'd need for that, really. And also, who knows, maybe there's some series out there that's just as obscure as The Mutant Girl that hasn't actually come to light yet. I haven't found one. I've looked up, I've looked up gacha series season 5. I achieved the memory limits, so I'm going to keep talking now. This was meant to be quick, if only the dogs let me go. I've actually finished on time, but whatever. So yeah, as I was saying, I looked up this stuff, and I haven't found a single series apart from well, I guess Criminal Minds, which I beat by a month, so that's that too. But also Oreo's Witch Academy series, which is on hiatus at the moment. But if she ever actually does post a season 2, then I'm in trouble, basically. There's also another series called, I don't know, something to do with the 5 Gods that I found a while ago, but all of those have been deleted, so they're lost media, so therefore probably couldn't be counted by any official certification. At least this is the logic I'm operating behind, and I hope it makes sense. But yeah, really, I don't know. And again, there could be something else. Maybe if I contacted Guinness, I could actually, see they could find a new record I have one already registered or something. Monet sent me a video last night of gacha records that have been achieved, and one of them was the oldest gacha video, which is only April 2017, which is weird because the gacha games existed since 2015. You thought there'd been someone else doing something before that, but no. Apparently, it only dates back to less than 2 years before I started The Mutant Girl, as far as gacha on YouTube goes. Which again gives me hope as to that record again. But I've been saying it for quite some time now, since the start of the year, in fact. But yeah, once I get to the 3rd anniversary, then it's really going to come to light. And yeah, it's not like Mutant Girl itself has 5 seasons or 6 seasons yet. just because of the delayed production we've had. But what it does have is, you know, a pretty long history, and once again, it can actually start not really predicting things that are like, you know, world events, because The Simpsons make commentary on, like, you know, jokes about the world and stuff, and, you know, considering that they've been going for over 30 years, it actually makes sense. Oh, 40 years? 30 years. Yeah, over 30 years, like 32, I think. Yeah. Because they've been going for 32 years, they actually, it's way more likely that they're going to see something in world events and they can present it properly. Whereas with the Muse and Girls writing style, I kind of thought now that because of the way that I write as to be a bit more introspective and a little bit to do with things that I see about like social interactions, like with humans and stuff, the way that we behave around each other. I think that's why so many conversations, so many events that I've had happen to me personally, as a human being interacting with other human beings, actually come to light, rather than, you know, some big world event that happens. You know, I'm not expecting a dragon-tailed girl to be born somewhere in the world or anything. Although, who knows, we have had mermaid girls in the past. Like Silent Pippin, for example. Look her up. But, yeah, but point is, that's probably why. Because of longevity and because of the style. I think any piece of media that runs for a long time is going to run into some sort of prediction in the future. I mean, heck, Walking Wednesday has been going for almost as long as The Mutant Girl. It only started 2 months afterwards. And yet, here I am on episode 130 something. And, honestly, yeah, it's, I'm sure that I've said something that's either come true in the future, come full circle, or has yet to be. But I guess only time will tell. And those are my thoughts for this week. I'm going to go and get myself a booster vaccine. So please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you've not done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell. Oh, I guess I didn't press the button properly. Okay, well, comment down below if you've had anything that you've written or seen that came true in your life. That could be interesting. Please get the discussion going. Okay, now for real. Bye.